Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to look at the subreddit r/entitledparents, where people tell us their stories of crazy mums and dads who think they're entitled just because they have kids. If you're new around here, please hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. Entitled mum wants me to feed her uninvited kids at our barbecue. Turns other neighbours against us. This happened earlier this week. My wife and I have recently married and moved. We did both in a 2-week time slot. The weather was lovely, and as it's the first time we had actually had some downtime together since our busy period, we thought we would have a barbecue. Just the two of us in our new backyard. About 30 minutes later, the food on the barbecue smells awesome. We're outside, chilling on the chairs, when, without warning, no knocking or anything, two kids open our back gate and walk into our yard. I ask them if they're okay, and the taller of the two replies with, "Mum says we can have some of your barbecue." Note, not can we have, but we can have. I explained that unfortunately, we only bought food for two, which is true, so there isn't enough to share and apologise for this, whilst being kind. Being an ex-teacher, I'm quite good at talking to children and they went away a little disappointed but weren't crying or seemed upset. About 5 minutes later, the mum then walks into our yard, again without knocking, asking why we didn't offer anything to her children. At this point, wife says that we haven't brought enough food, just enough for ourselves, and that ideally she shouldn't be offering our food to others. The mum starts going off on one about how this isn't the way to make friends, this isn't neighbourly, and this isn't how this neighbourhood works, and then she will tell others. I get up and ask her to leave, and ask her to not visit us again. We hear her storm off and then slam a door, we assume of her house. My wife then comes over to the backyard door and puts the bolt across, locking it. 15 minutes later, we hear her coming down the path to our back door again, only this time when she tries to open it, she can't as it's locked, and lets out a big, "For God's sake," before pulling the door some more and then walking off. A few days pass and we hadn't seen her, though we assume she definitely lived up to her promise of telling others about us not sharing food, as we did notice that the guy who lives opposite us now no longer says hello back to us when we leave for work. He leaves at roughly the same time as we do, so we did sometimes say hello politely. Our bins had been taken out of the containers and spilt all over the floor and pavement. Her kids and others in the neighbourhood now deliberately play outside our house, football, etc. Cars of the other neighbours park outside our house, even though they have driveways and we don't, so we end up parking further down the road. We've spoken to family and friends about this and they seem split. Some agree with us, but others have said we should have been neighbourly and offered our food. Okay, I want to know who these family members are, because if someone walks into your house and demands food, you are never getting it. Like, ever getting it. That's not a neighbourly thing to do, to offer someone that's broken into your house food. In all honesty, you're lucky if you don't get the police called. Entitled mum tries to take my Naruto school supplies for entitled kid. Background. So, a month before school started, I was shopping with my sister. One store we went to was GameStop. I saw this box that had school supplies in the form of Naruto's favourite ramen, listing with pens, erasers, a USB stick, rubber bands, post notes, and paper clips. Me being the weeb I am, I was like, oh, I have to get that. So I bought it for $16 with my pro membership. The cast: EM, the single mother that has no respect. EK, that can't take no as an answer, S, security guard, and me, some weeb that can't stand up for herself. P.S. My appearance makes me look male, so most people I first meet think I'm a boy. So I brought my supplies to school in a big sandwich box, cause the bowl it came with is made of glass, and I took one out of my pens to take notes. P.S. I sit next to EK, who came unprepared. Can I borrow a pen? This is my only one, sorry. I only had my Naruto pens, and I didn't want to give them to someone I didn't really know. But I saw that you had an extra Dragon Ball pen. He actually called it Dragon Ball, not kidding. I'm not comfortable sharing my pens with someone I don't know. Ask someone else. Whatever. He asked another student for a pen, and I thought, yay, happy ending. Boy, was I wrong. End of the day, and I'm waiting for my dad, and I was on my phone when I hear, "Hey, boy in green jacket." I didn't think they were talking to me cause I'm a girl, so I ignore it. "Young man, I am talking to you." Then I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around and see a woman who almost looks 40 but is dressed like she's 20. "My son told me about those wonderful Dragon Ball supplies you have, and I was wondering if you could give him those for his birthday." In my mind, I was like, oh, a wild entitled mother appeared. I knew it wouldn't matter if I corrected my gender, cause I'm sure she'll be like, "Stop lying," or "You're transgender?" No, I bought them myself, and I would like to keep them. I got them at GameStop if you want to buy one. "No, I don't have that type of money. Do you know how hard it is being a single mother? I barely have enough money to make a living." You'd probably have a lot more money if you didn't spend your child support on alcohol. Entitled mother looks at me in horror. "How dare you give me your Dragon Ball supplies as an apology for being rude to me?" In my mind, I was thinking, wait, if entitled mother is here, where's entitled kid? Then I feel a presence behind me, and I was thinking, uh-oh. I turn around and see entitled kid opening my bag. I quickly push him away and checked my bag to make sure I still had my stuff in. I did. And for those of you who've been on this subreddit for a while, you know what's next, don't you? "How dare you assault my angel? Give me your Dragon Ball stuff and I won't call the police on you." Entering the stage, security guard. "Is there a problem here, ma'am?" Security guard knows me very well and is familiar with me, so I didn't have a panic attack. "This brat assaulted entitled kid and took his Dragon Ball supplies." An entitled mother jumped me and tried to force me into giving her entitled kid my Naruto school supplies. Entitled mother then glares at me, pretty sure she would assault me if security guard wasn't there. Let me see the supplies so we can figure this out." I pull out the box and handed it to the security guard, but not with entitled mother trying to snatch it first. As the guard inspected the box, I knew how to prove the supplies were mine. "Hey, guard, pull out the egg and ask entitled kid what it is." Entitled mother and kid looked a bit nervous, but when security guard held it up to them, they looked confident. "Eraser." He looked at me like I've been defeated. It's actually a USB stick. S removed the top of the egg, and guess what? It was a USB stick. "Here, OP, you proved yourself right." I have a female name, so of course entitled mother freaked out. "A girl? You're a girl? Why do you look like a boy then?" "Give my son your Dragon Ball supplies now." "Enough. Leave OP alone before I call the police." This sure as hell got entitled mother running. And finally, my dad arrives. He asks why I was with S and explained the situation. His face goes red and he looks for entitled mother, but they already left the school. He went to the principal and told her what happened, so we'll have a meeting next week with entitled mother and EK. If they have the balls to come to it, that is. Oh, and they've actually left a picture of the supply, so I'll leave one of those on screen right now if you want to check them out. "You've ruined my kid's Christmas." Too early in the year for this, I know, but I just read a post that reminded me about this. Man, this happened to me about 15 years ago when I worked in KFC. I'm old. I was working front counter on Christmas Eve, a 12-hour shift. We close at 7, so we always put the chairs upside down on the tables at 5, making the entire place takeaway only, so that the staff can close off and clean everything that's not a direct path from the door to the counter. We had even turned off the section's lights. We've been queued almost out of the door all day long. No one's had a break because people called in sick, and we're understaffed. Then, at 6:45, in walks a guy. Let's call him Tom. Tom proceeds to move the yellow cleaning cones, joined together with tape so it looks roped off, steps across the still drying floor we've just mopped, and proceeds to start taking down chairs. In walks Tom's family, who all sit at the table and start taking off their jackets and getting themselves comfortable. People in the queue are starting to stare at Tom in the same manner as the staff. I say, "Excuse me mate, it's takeaway only." "What?" Tom skips the entire queue and comes right up to the counter. "Oh yeah, thanks for that mate, I'll have a 10-piece bargain bucket." "Sorry mate, there's a queue, and well, it's takeaway only, you can't sit in." "What?" "It was all roped off. The lights are off, chairs on the table, the seating section's closed." Tom, loudly, "Oh, you think I'm stupid? You just want out of here early and can't be bothered doing your job properly." My manager hears this and comes out of the office at the end of the counter. Bob, not his actual name. "Oi, can I help you, pal?" Tom, red-faced and loudly, "Aye, me and my family have had dinner in here every Christmas Eve at this time for the last 8 years, and this wee lad thinks he can just decide to screw our Christmas just so he can get home early. You're gonna get him to apologise to me, and you're gonna give us our food for free." I told him to shut off the sections at 5, just like we've done for the last 4 years. Bob smiles, which, by the way pal, is when we opened. So you can put the chairs back on the table, fix the cones and get to the back of the queue, and we'll still serve you. Tom, while heading for the door, shouts, "Yeah, screw this, you've just ruined Christmas for me kids, you know that?" "Nah, I think your attitude's done that, pal." Bob locked the door behind Tom and his family, so that no more customers could get in. Customers still in the queue were served and let out the fire exit. Never saw that guy again. Bob was a legend. I don't miss working there, but that guy made it bearable. I'd like to formally apologise for that awful accent attempt, because I tried to read it in the way he wrote it and I was like, oh, this guy's Australian at first. And then I was like, he used the word we, and I was like, oh no, he's Scottish. So that was kind of a mix between Scottish and Australian, and I'm really bad at accents, I'm so sorry. Land whale destroys art, then blames security. I was recently at an art museum where I had my first encounter with a true entitled parent. They had this exhibit going on with art made entirely from little recycled wooden blocks, and live building competitions all around. A pretty good time. Then enters our entitled mum, who screws it all up. As a part of the display, they built a huge replica of the Empire State Building, completely live in front of a small crowd. They were almost finished when our entitled mother, a land whale of epic proportions, and her 2 kid goblins enter the room, ready to raise some hell. The entitled mother snaps at her little brats to go over to the woman building the replica and take a picture. The woman building the art tells them politely to not, as it was under construction, and would later have a glass case put over it to prevent it from getting knocked over. The Satan spawns didn't care and got in front of it for a picture. Entitled mother took her picture, then walked off, but not before telling her children to have fun playing Jenga with the nice lady. I kid you not, she told them to literally destroy it. They gladly did so and took it down in seconds. The lady called security to have them escorted out, but then the land whale has a fit, screaming that the guards were assaulting her and that she would sue, and that they actually did it and blamed her because they are awful people and stuff like that. It was a mess. Luckily, she and the demons were evacuated, and the good people of the art museum could enjoy their exhibits without Satan. There should be like fines for stuff like that, like you should be fined a huge amount for destroying artwork. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.